Hey everybody, my name is Chris and I'm a tutor here at Chegg.com. I mainly do math and a little bit of computer science. And in this video we're going to simplify this expression that has exponents in it. So here we have y squared times x to the fifth times z, all divided by x cubed times y times z to the fourth, and then we're dividing that entire thing by xy to the seventh, z to the eighth, all divided by 2x to the 10th, z to the 12th. Okay, so there's a lot going on here. And the thing with problems like this is there are actually a few different ways we could approach it, and I'm just going to do one of those ways in this video. So the very first thing that I like to do is get rid of this division here and convert it to a multiplication. So that's not going to change anything over here. This entire thing is still going to stay the same. So we're just going to rewrite that as y squared x to the fifth z all over x cubed y times z to the fourth. Now we could have simplified this a little bit in this step if we wanted to, but I just want to break this down into one step at a time. Now when you divide by a fraction, that's the exact same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal. So what we want to do is take this fraction and flip it, because we want to convert this division to a multiplication. So if we take this fraction here and flip it, that's going to give us 2x to the 10th z to the 12th, all divided by xy to the 7th z to the 8th. All right, now we're ready to start simplifying a little bit. So let's go ahead and do that. Now let's see. Here we have y squared on top and a y on bottom. So we can cancel this whole thing with one of the y's up here, and we're just left with the y on top. Here we have x cubed, and then here's an x to the fifth. So we can get rid of all of the x cubed, and then this 5 becomes a 2. Okay, because x to the fifth, x to the power of 5, x to the power of 3, 5 minus 3 is 2, that's why we have a 2 up here. And then here, a z on top and z to the fourth down here, so that 4 becomes a 3. Okay, because we have one z up here and we have 4 z's being multiplied down here, and one of those z's is gone now, it cancels with this, so we only have 3 z's left being multiplied by each other, so that's why we have z cubed now. And then what happens over here? Well, we have x to the 10th on top, and then just one x on the bottom, so this x cancels with one of these, and then we're left with x to the 9th. And then here we have y to the 7th, but there's no y up here, so there's really nothing that we can do with that yet. And then z to the 8th and z to the 12th, so we can get rid of the entire z to the 8th. And then this 12, because we have a 12 up here and an 8 down here, this 12 now becomes 12 minus 8, which is 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and write what we have. So here we have a y and an x squared on top. And then on the bottom, we just had a z cubed, right? Z cubed. And then we're multiplying that by 2. We still have this 2 kind of hanging out here, not really doing much. And then x to the 9th, z to the 4th. All divided by y to the 7th. All right, now we can start mixing this guy with this guy over here. So a y up here and a y to the 7th down here. Well, this y is going to be completely canceled, and then the 7 now becomes a 6. Okay, and then here we have a z cubed and a z to the 4th up here. So the z cubed goes away entirely, and then this 4 goes away, and technically it becomes a 1, so we'll just leave that as z. And then x squared times x to the 9th is going to give us an x to the 11th on top. So I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit, but let's just go ahead and write what we have now. Now we have x squared times 2 times x to the 9th times z, all divided by y to the 6th. Okay, so in the denominator over here, all we really had left was just a 1. So since we canceled the entire z cubed, the only thing left on the entire denominator was just 1. So that's why now we have x squared over 1 times 2x to the 9th times z, all divided by y to the 6th. So we're just going to squish that together into one fraction like this. And then one last thing that we can do to simplify. Here we have x squared. Here's times 2 times x to the 9th. So the x squared and the x to the 9th can be simplified. And we can write that as x to the 11th. So when we simplify the entire thing, we get 2x to the 11th times z, all divided by y to the 6th. All right, and that's our final answer there. So depending on how you are with negative exponents, you may also want to say 2x to the 11th y to the negative 6 times z. So we can bring this y up into the numerator if we make that exponent negative. So that is an option, but depending on the instructions, they might say leave all the exponents positive, in which case you'd have to answer like this, and this would not be allowed. Okay, so this has been an example of simplifying an expression that has exponents in it. I hope you found it helpful, and thank you for watching.